Good afternoon, Bok. We have LGU starting to earmark funds for the shots. But what does this mean exactly? Can we count on these funds being spent completely purchasing COVID vaccines? And can anybody just pick up these vaccines?
Well, to begin with, not just anybody can buy these vaccines. These have to be done government to government. Because you have to realize that what government is giving out right now, and it has not yet given out any, are emergency use authorizations. These are not the same as commercial licenses or commercial permits to sell. So nobody can, as of yet, buy a vaccine privately. They have to do it through the government. So even the LGUs need to course their requests or their negotiations through the national government, and only then can they get allocations going down the line. So on one hand, you have the national government setting aside 72.5 billion for its national vaccination program, and then you have the LGUs setting aside their own funds for their complementary or supplementary vaccinations.
All right, now this brings us to AstraZeneca. It is the choice of a lot of LGUs that have secured that have earmarked their funds so far, and they're saying it's all with AstraZeneca. It is also one of the cheapest vaccines so far, according to data from the UNICEF. Now, while this might be good news for LGUs gunning for AZ jabs, what other factors should we consider? I'm looking, of course, at the logistical part, storage and transportation, distribution. What are you seeing?
Okay. First of all, let's lay the baseline down. First of all, no vaccine has yet been given emergency use authorization by the Philippine government through the FDA. So until that is given, no vaccine is allowed to enter the country. No vaccine can be imported until an EUA is granted to any of the vaccine manufacturers. Now, that being said, what we have already are applications submitted by Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and just a few days ago, Gamaleya, the makers of Sputnik. Now, the FDA says that they have so far they are so far processing the first two. That's Pfizer and AstraZeneca, and the FDA says that the Pfizer vaccine may get EUA within the next few days or weeks. So malapit-lapit na raw. As far as Gamaleya, for example, is concerned, which is one of the cheaper vaccine brands, the FDA is saying that they have to submit more documents. They're still waiting for more documentation, more test results before they even consider Gamaleya's Sputnik vaccine. So that being said, those are the three vaccines that have so far submitted applications for EUA. We have not heard of any word from Sinovac and Sinopharm. The last time we heard from these two was around 8 days ago when they said they were going to apply. But as of yesterday, they have not yet applied, and that is still pending. Although our government is saying that Sinovac is supposed to bring in by next month at least 50,000 doses. So that is a factor. You cannot bring in anything until it is approved. Now, to answer your question, what about the other elements concerned? The vaccine with the biggest logistical issue would be Pfizer's, which requires negative 70 degrees freezer. Now, we talked yesterday or last night to the Baguio City Mayor, Benjamin Magalong, and he was saying that they were able to buy a negative 70-degree freezer for 180,000 pesos. So it is not that expensive. It is reasonable for a lot of the LGUs. Of course, not for all LGUs, but if you put aside that much money, you can cram in 360,000 doses in a square meter of freezer space. So it is not that impractical, turns out.
Oh, that's good to hear. Now, going back to what you said, you already mentioned Sinovac. I just want to dig deeper into this. It has been clear in the past few weeks that the national government is very keen on Sinovac, which, according to the same data I was referring to earlier from UNICEF, comes out as one of the more expensive ones. Now,
yes.
Another issue with Sinovac is that they were expecting, like you said, a rollout by February. And then on the other hand, we have FDA Director General Eric Domingo saying that it will take him up to 3 weeks to process the EUA, which, like
That's
you said,
true,
has
21
not
days,
arrived.
yes.
Right? We were expecting it within last week. That was the news last week, but you're right. Up to now, it's not yet there. So there seems to be, if it will require 3 weeks, then we will hit February. So what's up with that?
Well, everything is possible. You're only the first week of January, so if everything goes according to government's plan, they can still hit the target of last part of February for Sinovac to come in with approval of the EUA. But these are all assumptions until all the paperwork and the application is brought in, and then it's a bit too presumptuous to even talk about that. But you were referring to the prices of the vaccines. I think you're using the same reference as we are, which is the UNICEF vaccine dashboard that's available publicly. So anybody who would want to look at the prices and the supply of vaccines can access the UNICEF vaccine dashboard. If you look at the dashboard of UNICEF, you would notice that, as we said, AstraZeneca has one of the cheapest vaccines available. But even if you look at AstraZeneca's prices, it seems that the Philippines got well, we are paying a bit more than most of the other countries are paying for the same vaccine. In the UNICEF dashboard, it says here that the Philippines is buying it at $5 per dose. That's around 250 pesos per dose. You need 2 doses, so that's around 500 pesos. So $5 per dose for the Philippines. But for Brazil, it was at $3.16. For the EU, it was $2.19. For the US, it was $4, and for Brazil, it was 3.16. For Bangladesh, it was 4.50. For India, it was $3.33. So we seem to be paying a bit of a higher price for the same vaccine. Although it does say here that for India's private sector, for private purchases, AstraZeneca seems to be putting the price up higher at $7 for private purchases. Next would be Sputnik, Russia's Sputnik. It's at $10 in Russia, which is surprisingly more expensive because in Latin America they're selling for $3 only. And then you have Sanofi ranging from $9 to $10, Pfizer for $14 to $19, Sinovac for $10 to $29, so almost 1,500 pesos per dose, and Moderna for $18 up to $34. That's around almost 2,000 pesos per dose. So that's a quick rundown of the prices listed on the UNICEF dashboard.
Thank you so much for helping us parse through that. Ed Lingao, One News's political editor.